Hello, so I wanted to put together this video, this little compilation, because I've noticed a problem. First, I just want to say I'm a paying Young Turks member, so I'm a huge fan of the show. I'm a huge progressive on very many issues, on all issues. I'm as progressive as they come. And I don't say that in a way that Cenk says that. He says that, and then he goes and makes a video about having mixed feelings on Dakota Access Pipeline initially, and then waits till it catches fire, and then bandwagons on the issue, pretends like, it never happened. But I actually mean I'm a progressive. I'm a paying Young Turks member. I'm a fan, but I noticed a problem, and it has something to do with Cenk's narcissism. He likes to coin it as his, just he likes being right, but it's a little bit more than that. It's narcissism. It's the same narcissism that Trump suffers from. And that's why I believe that, Trump gets under Cenk's skin so much. And that's why I feel like this election was really devastating for Cenk. I mean, granted all the, policy issues and having somebody as incompetent as Donald Trump in the office as the most powerful man in the world is not good news in and of itself. But what really got under Cenk was, the fact that he got out narcissist. So Donald Trump, he talked about one of the biggest things that got debunked was the fact that he said, I was always against the Iraq War. I was against the Iraq War until you had fact checkers bring back video of him being lukewarm on the Iraq War. Remember that? So, yeah, that's a symptom of his narcissism, is that he's unable to admit when he's wrong. And so Cenk, he's so adamant about just saying that he's right all the time. And I don't get it. Why is it so necessary to be right all the time when there are clear instances where he was wrong? And so I put together this little video to show how he just speaks out of both sides of his mouth, and how he does what he accuses, what's his name? Super philosopher, atheist, why am I forgetting his name? Sam Harris. He does what he accuses Sam Harris of doing, and that is talking out of both sides of his mouth, where he says one thing, and he says another thing, and then he says both of it. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. And what he does is he takes every position possible so that he can go back and say, I told you. And so, yeah, I'm not making this video as somebody who's trying to hate on Cenk. This is for the future. You really need to work on this problem, because not only is it annoying, but it's really important to admit when you were wrong, so that you can grow. And so you could see the video and watch it for yourself. I also want to point out that I know that a lot of things happen in this election that could change from July to October even. So I'm not getting on Cenk for being initially right or wrong or whatever, being inconsistent with his predictions. I am getting on him for not actually admitting that his rock solid prediction was the one that counted and that it was wrong. All right, so you do not make a rock solid prediction, and after the election happens, if it doesn't go your way, you don't then look for that one moment that you found where you were saying something positive about Trump, or you were saying something like, yeah, Trump could win. Yeah, 279 to 242, whatever. Yeah, no, I said it. Told you. No, have integrity. And what that means is when you say, I predict something, this is my rock solid prediction, then you stick with that. And if you're wrong, admit you're wrong, period. Don't go then looking for other things which you said, yeah, I told you Trump could win. Clearly I said, Trump has a chance. No, that doesn't count. Have some integrity, dude. So I predicted the night before the election that Trump would win. I bet $5 with a friend, and afterwards I told her keep the $5. is really shit. And I didn't feel like taking the $5 from her. But I also predicted after the DNC that Trump would be the next president. I also predicted after the World Series was won by the Cubs that Donald Trump would win, that he would win. But I'm not going around like Cenk and just saying, oh, I was right. I never once said Hillary would win. But that's just his need to be right all the time. So I hope you enjoy this video, this little compilation. There will be a part 2 where I specifically address his no dapple issue and how he was very much I told you, but initially he wasn't. And so subscribe if you like this video, push the little like button, and yeah, then watch out for more videos. But I hope you enjoy this one for now.
Host of the Young Turks online news show and founder and CEO of the Young Turks Network, and he joins me in studio here in California. You were not shocked, right, at this election?
Nope.
You picked Trump. You forecast Trump.
Yeah. I've got Trump at 279, 259. I gave him Florida, Ohio.
He was a loser a minute ago. Wait a minute.
No,
winning the presidency.
No, listen. Again, let's give context here. I didn't always get it right at all. That was back in July. Now, on September 14th, here on the Young Turks, I made a slightly different prediction. The theme is the same. This is a very close election. Democrats, watch out, watch out. But here I got it wrong. Let's watch. And as it turns out, if I'm right about all that, Hillary Clinton, in a razor-thin victory, 272 to 266.
You picked Trump. You forecast Trump.
Yeah.
Should have done what Donald Trump did in the lead up to the Iraq War. Take every position possible, then later just pick the one that made you look best.
So it turned out she did not win, but it was a very close election. So, and by the way, let's be further fair to me, because I like being fair to me. I had also given this giant caveat before that prediction. I've got to be clear about this. Now, oftentimes when I do a prediction on any given issue, whether it's election or anything else, I'll do it when I say, okay, I believe I know, and here is my rock solid prediction. This is not one of those. This is, hey, we've got about 2 months before the election. Let me give you my best guess as to where we stand now. So I think I was among the very few people not writing it down in stone. So I'm going to do my dramatic announcement, okay?
Oh!
All right, here we go. Wait a drum roll. All right. I'm calling it. Hillary Clinton, the winner of this presidential election. 3 weeks before the election, exactly 3 weeks, almost exactly. And before the third debate begins, it's about to begin as we do this live coverage, she's going to win the election.
You picked Trump. You forecast Trump.
Yeah. I think at this point, the jury's in. His last hope has left the building. He's too far down. No, it is his last hope. And so that gets me to my
10% chance.
No, he doesn't. He has no. I wouldn't call it if I thought he had any percent chance. There's a Facebook video I did right before the RNC, and I said, man, I'm walking around here in the middle of Ohio. These people ain't gonna vote for Hillary Clinton, okay? And that was the first time that I really started ringing the bell, like, oh no, watch out, Trump can win, Trump can win. And Real Clear Politics wrote about it at the time. And at the time, the reason the press talked about it is because, like, what a crazy outlier they think Trump can win. I mean, you saw the ABC this week thing, all of them, Hillary, landslide this, landslide that. I'm calling it. Hillary Clinton, the winner of this presidential election. It isn't that I'm so right. It's that they're in that bubble and they can't see straight. To them, the establishment is awesome because they are the establishment, whether you're talking about the Democratic Party or the mainstream media. So it's my job to straighten that out. So yeah, I don't make the call. You know, earlier I made a prediction based on where we were at the time, and it's pretty close to where I have it now. I thought it would be a little tighter. I thought she would eke it out, but he can't because it's not in him. He's not smart enough. He's not competent enough. And so he ran a horrible campaign. And an election he could have actually won, he will not win because of his incompetence. So I think at this point, the jury's in. His last hope has left the building. He's too
Not his
far
last
down.
hope.
No, it is his last hope. And so that gets me to my
10% chance.
No, he doesn't. He has no. I wouldn't call it if I thought he had any percent chance. That's exactly the bubble that I was screaming against. Going, how are you guys so certain? This makes no sense. Listen to what I said one day before the election. Number one, I'm going to give you HuffPost polling. Last I looked, they were at 98.4% chance for Hillary Clinton to win. Now, I find that preposterous. He has no. I wouldn't call it if I thought he had any percent chance. Absolutely ridiculous. But the folks that just look at the polls and say, "Oh no, based on our calculations and likely voters and our reading of what we consider reputable polls," they come up with different numbers. HuffPost has got it at 98.4. I think that's ridiculous. And it was ridiculous. He has no. I wouldn't call it if I thought he had any percent chance. It was because they live in this bubble. So when I tell you don't believe the hype of the mainstream media, there's a reason for that, because they can't see straight. They just can't see it. So it is super relevant to the future, not about sour grapes in the past, okay? Because if they make that mistake again, they continue to endanger the world. Look at what happened. Donald Trump is president of the United States. We have this reality show clown who they allowed to win because they were overconfident. He has no. I wouldn't call it if I thought he had any percent chance. And thought, come on, he can't possibly win. 98.4% chance. He has no. I wouldn't call it if I thought he had any percent chance. I saw a couple of polls that confirmed my own bias, and I'm off to the races. So it was actually those guys who had the bias. So we try to play it straight for you here, because whether you want something or you don't, you've got to deal with reality. I didn't want Donald Trump as president, but I was worried that it might happen because I saw some of the handwriting on the wall that they refused to look at. So don't make that mistake again. Don't do it.
You picked Trump. You forecast Trump.
Yeah.
Should have done what Donald Trump did in the lead up to the Iraq War. Take every position possible, then later just pick the one that made you look best.
Some people think that, hey, Cenk likes to be proven right or something.